if it's Tuesday, you know, it's all about the docket, the latest stories making headlines across the nation, around the region, and around the world, even as Ricky G continues his sojourn in the US. Baraka US. Kwenye mambo kinovyo unataka kwenda States wewe.
Sijui ni ndege gani iko na mafuta. Aisha kungekuwa na history ya visa. Wewe tu unapanda kama ma3. Sasa ningekuwa Shiato, walisema ni Shiato. Ningekuwa nimefika Shiato.
Nasikia Kenya ni visa free.
Kenya sasa Nigerians who come in their drones. You know it's good to be cautious as a nation. You just wake up and decide Kenya is visa free.
Yeah.
And the Ogas want to come here.
Thank you.
Haya, mtajua watajaa Kilimani
na Ruaka.
Na Ruaka. Bas. At the same time, some of them are being shot in the legs.
Risasi ya mguu.
He started by saying, ukiona mtu ameenda kuchoma biashara ya mtu, apigwe risasi ya mguu, alafu apelekwe hospitali akienda kotini. Now, kama umeamuka kuchoma biashara ya mtu na finance bill, wewe unafaa kupigwa risasi ya mguu, uende kotini, ukienda hospitali, whichever comes in whatever order. Kama umeamuka kuchoma biashara ya mtu na stupid taxes, umeamuka kuchoma biashara ya mtu na hii ujinga tunaona ya kanjo, I don't know how many licenses to operate one single business. Those are the people who are banning the businesses of people. And if the president meant that there are people who wake up and they want to ban other people's business, starting with the people who are bringing finance bill, going to the people who are bringing these stupid kanjo taxes, going to the people who are invading these biasharas with all sorts of nonsense to come and make life impossible. And watu wanachoma biashara ya watu. And I have said that we lose a lot of money during the normal times than we lose during maandamano. So what we need to do is to support his directive. Tuanze na wale watu wameleta finance bill. Shoot ya mguu. Anaenda hospitali, akienda kotini. The other person wenye ameleta hizi taxes za kanjo na all these licenses za kanjo, unawashoot kwa mguu, kianza na governor wa Nairobi, alafu wanapelekwa hospitali, alafu wanaenda kotini. All these people those are the people who are banning our business. You are thinking, Jeff, you are thinking that banning somebody's business is literally touching it up. This government is banning our businesses every day. So washutiwe mguu hata wao.
Rex Masai died of injury to the legs.
Don't you think it's a fantastic thing that if they are saying that walishutiwa mguu, these people who are bringing these finance bills and making people, if Rex Masai died out of that, alafu kuna mtu ameleta finance bill na yashutiwe mguu afanye kama Rex Masai, where is the problem? So it's only fair when young people are dying like that. Mtu anakuja hapa analeta like 20 different taxes. Do you know what it takes to run a business in Nairobi? Do you know how many licenses you have to hang on your door? So all this nonsense, all we do is we say the people who are banning the businesses of young people are these politicians. And they are banning them every day, even in times of peace. So what we need to do is to say, kama yule mtu anachoma biashara anashutiwa mguu, we start with those ones. Wote washutiwe mguu, I support the president.
We get your point.
Coming from the president of the Republic of Kenya, the person who is supposed to be the national, to bring the nation together, for that person to say whatever that was being said is kind of reckless, and it's not going to help in cooling down the temperatures, because as a president I would have thought that he will have pulled back and try to find ways of dealing with what we are experiencing as a country, because what we are going through is not a good thing, and these young people are angry, and the more once he said that, people are there are songs that came out, mimi mguu moja sijui nini, and they were walking with one leg and they were on wheelchairs. You see a young man saying Shosho alifanya vizuri akakufa akaniachia wheelchair, so nikichapwa risasi, so at least sasa I'm just learning how to drive the wheelchair. So those are not people that you are going to threaten by shooting on the legs. They were threatened that they are going to be killed, and they came out in droves. 40 people died. So far we are counting 40 people who have died from the Sabasaba demos. Jeff, where we are is not a good place as a country, and for the political class, I think they must change tact, because if they don't change tact, we are not going to come out of this place. When you hear Koech, my friend Nelson Koech, saying that don't shoot to maim, shoot to kill. When you hear, you know, Wajir women rep saying that they are going to seal votes whatever happens, when you hear, you know, Sudi engineer saying that whatever happens, president is still going to be do his second term, it's not a good place as a country. And once those leaders start saying whatever they are saying, whatever happens in 2027, even if President Ruto will win fair and square, people will still think that this is not fair and square, because you already promised us that you are going to seal votes, and so they are making even the work of IEBC to be very difficult. And for the political class, I would have thought that they would pull back. They will just try, because I think they were used to dealing with Raila Odinga and thinking that they have dealt with all their political problems. This is a different ball game. It's a different animal altogether, and they must pull back and look for solutions, look for ways of calming the nation down, look for ways, because just the demos that are happening every day, they're not good for the country. You know, for that Sabasaba day, 40 people dead. Paka mtoto wa chief anauawa. Chief who is a government official, you know,
in one day,
40 people in one day dead.
The most disappointing bit is that around these leaders we have Kenyans like you and I, who, because their proximity to power is better than where we are, and they are eating better, they seem to cheer when a leader makes such statements, because I can hear, and those of us who watched the clip, you could see wananchi in the background making noise and cheering on Koech with such reckless statements. Like we said, you know, samaki akioza anaanza kwa kichwa. And this is a typical illustration. If the president can say that is why I said, what would hold back his foot soldiers from doing more than what he has said do? Yeah. In any case, he's the commander-in-chief, and I am very sure there are commands that they give that we in the public don't need to hear. If he had to give a command like that, did he have to hold a microphone in the public and say it? Where do you put Kenyans? What are you telling Kenyans? I do not care. I'm imagining if he had gone in the boardrooms with those generals and told them, and those commanders and told them, Sasa, this is what we want to do, and we never get to hear it, and we only see it implemented, maybe would not be enraged, and would imagine maybe he cares a little about what the office he holds. But if they can go out publicly alongside his whole battalion and make statements like that, it tells you how little respect they have for Kenyans. They have gotten to a point where they say ni kama wamezoea kukufa, so twende nalo. If every other maandamano we are registering numbers that are on the rise, and all you can do is fund it more by making reckless statements like this, I am very sure if a maandamano was staged tomorrow, the Kenyans that are agitating for change will not fail to come out. Do you mean if we decided every day is a maandamano day, we will kill Kenyans every day on an increasing trajectory? You know, it is pathetic.
Yeah. I am the only one who listened to him very well. Koech said, if someone is terrorizing your family, shoot to kill. Who is terrorizing Kenyan families? Koech is right. It is government. So it is government that should be shot to kill. If you are saying there is anybody who should be shot to kill, Koech has told us, if somebody is terrorizing your family, shoot to kill. Now, right now, they have just killed a young girl in a hospital, in a police cell in Nanyuki. Now, Koech is right. The policeman who killed that young man in a police cell in Nanyuki, that policeman needs to be shot to death because he's terrorizing the family of that young girl. So I agree to a great extent. The only problem is that the gun is being pointed in the wrong direction. There are people who deserve to be shot to death in this country, but it is not the ones that Koech is talking about. It is not the young people on the streets. It's not the young people agitating for change. The people who need to be shot in this country are the ones who are terrorizing Kenyans. And one of the first ones ni hao polisi. Kama sasa watafute wewe mwenye aliua young girl in a police cell, that one should be shot. And then we get all those people who are making funny remarks. Like now, when somebody says we are going to steal elections, that is someone who is terrorizing Kenyans because they are interfering with our right to be a democratic state. So to Koech, yes, your statement is right, but you're turning the gun in the wrong direction. We just take your statement and we turn that gun on that person who said that they are going to steal elections. That is a person who is terrorizing Kenyans. They need to be shot. Koech, you are right. There are very many other people who have said things that are anti our 2010 constitution. Those are the people we need to shoot. There is this other one who was saying that they are going to be shot every other day. Those are the people. Koech, muamke asubuhi, just that gun, turn it on the right people and shoot all of them.
You know, you can never know who is going to die in those demos. Unajua kitambo, when we used to have maandamanos, we knew where the people who are going for the demos are coming from. We knew ni watu watatoka sijui Kibra, wengine watatoka sijui Mlango Kubwa, wengine watatoka wapi. You know, they are associated with the slums. But right now, when people are coming out for demos, you know, there was a police officer that met her son on the streets during demos, and they were taking selfies. If that police officer had aimed a random shot, he could have hit the son. You know, the person who died in the one you are talking about in Nanyuki is a daughter of a chief. Now the chief is being intimidated. Don't talk because I know you are suffering, but don't talk because you're a government officer. You know, there are reports that one of the persons who died in Nanyuki, was it like Kipio Nanyuki, is a son of a DCI officer. And so some of these people that are coming out to demonstrate, you know, last year when we were demonstrating, people were demonstrating, Kiunjuru's son was on the streets demonstrating. And so the caliber and the profile of those people who are coming out to demonstrate has totally changed. Right now, there are people who are coming out to demonstrate fairly very young people, fairly very educated people, fairly people who don't have jobs, yes, but they are very educated and very knowledgeable. And those are not people that you are going to intimidate by telling them, oh, we are going to shoot you, we are going to kill you, because the more you say that, the more radical they become, and the more they will come out during the next demos.
In the same breath, as you give inflammatory remarks, those that have everything to do with shooting people and maiming and killing, we have others who continue, you know, at the right, just at the point where we are almost celebrating having commissioners sworn in and ready to begin their work, people making remarks like to Taiba, and you know, you even speak in Swahili for every other Kenyan to understand that you will steal. And in a government where it is not one person or two people or three people, more than enough people talking about the same thing and how they will deal with this, it goes a long way in speaking to the fact that they have same reality, that this one-term thing is not just a chant being used for by maybe opposition to hold back the government, but it is a reality that is waiting to happen come 2027. And therefore, in preparation for that, so that it doesn't take Kenyans by surprise, so that we are treated to what we've been treated before, because we have since elections stolen, we get ready. But I think they're forgetting that we are in an era where people do not now want small margins in an election. People are warming up to very big margins when it comes to elections. So I do not know, or I do not understand what exactly they are planning to do to execute this threat that they keep giving Kenyans about stealing elections left, right, and center. It is high time they sat back and realized they are doing a lot of disservice to themselves, especially at the time when people are supposed to have some to look up to this commission that has been installed as a commission that will oversee an election that is coming when the country is very, very decided on where they want exactly to go.
The IEBC commission that has come in at a very difficult time. They have come in when people do not really necessarily have faith in the commissioners that have been appointed. There are those issues with the chairperson, the association with the NANOC and the presidency. There have been those issues with the commissioners that have been appointed. And so what these politicians are doing is that they are making the work of that. However, they are starting from a negative point because people don't have faith in them already. And now they are making the work of that commission to be very, very difficult for them to get, that confidence of Kenyans that they are going to do an election, that they are going to conduct an election that is fair and credible in 2027. When you hear Sudi speaking, when you hear Koech speaking, when you hear the Wajir women rep speaking, you start wondering, is this how we are going to conduct our affairs? And I think the issue of one term has really icked them. It has injected, and they are feeling the heat because it's now it's not just a chorus. Everywhere you go, you hear one term. Kama ni club kuna one term. Kama I think at a church pastor akisema one term, it will be the house the biggest cheer. And so it is getting to their nerves. I think it's getting to their skin, and they are feeling it. And that's why you hear those threats that we are going to fill the votes, kama itatosha tutajaza. But let that not deter Kenyans. Kenyans should just wake up, go and vote, wapige kura venye wanataka, tuone kama watajaza na kama hawatajaza. And when they are saying that, people are laughing. But when Gachagua said, if you try to steal 2007 with the Christmas party, the whole country, even the president, there was hue and cry because they don't want to hear the truth. The truth is that if you try to mess up with the elections 2027, we are going to have issues in Kenya because the people you are dealing with, the demographics that we are dealing with are changed. There are people who are learned. There are people who are knowledgeable.
Now, these people surrounding the president are scared. Will we be the first team to fail number one in securing a second term?
Yeah.
And therefore they are all over the place. They want to use intimidation. They want to use lies to him. They want to use all these manner of theatrics to make sure that they did not become the first team surrounding the president that failed to give him a second term. And that is why some of them are doing what they are doing. Now, if you asked this member of parliament how exactly she intends to do that, probably she has no idea. She has no idea how an election is even stolen. But because they have to make sure the country is the temperatures are high, everyone is on the run, on their toes, they keep making such statements. But I'm very sure most of them have no idea. The president himself won this election by a margin of around 200,000. I am imagining at the time he was competing Raila Odinga, who had a huge following. Right now he will be competing a whole new generation that has influenced the whole country and left him with a piece of it. I do not know how, if 200, you struggle to even steal the 200, if stealing in quote, you struggle with the 200. If the margin will be bigger, how realistic will this stealing be?
I've always told people, I have seen one term coming out spontaneously, even in a marathon. I have never seen two term come out spontaneously. The only place two term is mentioned is in a place where people have been mobilized. There are tents and chairs, and then they are told semeni two term. But even a person who is drunk, they wake up from a slumber, kama alikuwa amesinzia kidogo kwa bana, sema one term. I have not heard someone waking up from a slumber and saying two term. And that's how you know that these people have lost it. A president who won by 200,000 votes and has lost the whole of Mount Kenya that gave him 47% of his votes, and has lost significant support in the whole of the western region. He has lost significant support even within Rift Valley. Na ukitaka kujua, angalia maandamano inafanywa mpaka Eldoret, inafanywa mpaka Kericho, Jamani, that person is telling you he's going to be president again. Atapitia wapi? Now, this woman rep, Fatuma Abdi, by the way, we are getting to know you for the first time. We didn't know you've been in parliament for the last, is it 2 years? You've been around, Yani. You're the woman rep. Anyway, it's fine. At least we know Pazaris. Now, we have news for you. The problem is that you cannot be all over your constituency. The people that you intend to use will refuse to be used like that. So the problem, she's thinking that she's going to sit somewhere and move around with her buibui and steal votes everywhere. It's not possible. She has to use people. The question is, are there Kenyans who are willing to be used in that way? And I can tell you for free, you will not find Kenyans who are willing to be used in that way. In fact, some of these people will struggle to have agents. Because I'm asking you, think of somewhere like now in Trans Nzoia, who will want to be known that he's an agent for Ruto? You know, the whole country, the whole place will see you as a public enemy. Think of somewhere deep within Murang'a or Ukambani or even parts of the coast region. Unainuka asubuhi unasema naenda uko ABC, anaenda asubuhi kwa polling station, mi ni agent wa Kenya Kwanza or UDA or whatever party they are going to be using that time. It's going to be hard. I think what this administration needs to start doing, it's showing gratitude. Just telling Kenyans, aki asanteni hata mulinipatia your 5-year term, having known my history. So, this is a one-term administration. Threatening people with all these things and saying they are going to steal an election will not happen. By the way, the people of Kabete walikuwa wameokota 40,000 signatures to take their MP home. Yesterday, I'm reliably informed they have sent a letter to IBC. You know, IBC had said we are not duly constituted, but IBC is not duly constituted that time to help in recalling of MPs, but they are duly constituted when it comes to impeaching a deputy president, to appointment of a new deputy president. It's conveniently. So now they were given a letter yesterday by the people of Kabete, and it's circulating all over. The people of Kabete are saying, here is the letter. You told us you are not duly constituted. That's why we couldn't do, we could not recall our MP. Now they are sending them a letter telling them, we are ready. The people of Kabete have collected signatures. Now I think ni kwenye huko jail. And they are ready to impeach to recall their member of parliament. So we want to see how ABC is going to do. Madera had already collected more than enough. They were told, I think they needed 30,000. They collected more than they needed. So as we sit right now, I think the most important business that Kenyans are going to engage in. Si tumekatazwa kwenda streets, mambo tutashutiwa. Now there's a new level of demonstration. We are recalling all the horrible MPs. Because that is the Constitution, Article 104. We are going to recall all of them. We are going to collect signatures around this country. Sasa hakuna maandamano ingine. Gen Zs, millennials, tumemaliza. Sasa ile maandamano tunafanya ni ya kuokota signature. Tuna identify yule MP anatusumbua. Hakuna haja ya kungoja huyo MP 2027. Tumesema tutumie katiba. Sasa hakuna kushutiwa miguu. Tunatumia hii katiba. Tuna make sure there is enough by elections. We will keep this IBC busy. So wametupatia so that they also learn how to run the next election. We have to give them work to do. So young people, this is the new frontier. Let us just collect these signatures and go to IBC and tell them it is the Constitution 104. Hatutaki MP fulani na tupatiwe hizo by elections zote tuwapeleke nyumbani. Then tuone kwanza kama huyu anasema huyu anasema tuwataiba huyu anafaa kuwa, for example, the young people in her constituency will collect signatures to impeach you kwanza, tumpeleke nyumbani, then tuulize who else is telling us they are going to steal elections.
I think the wind is blowing. The backside of the chicken is being exposed.
Muluya, the chicken.
It has to be, a chicken has to be somewhere.
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No, come on.
When you see these leaders talking, I think they are panicking. They are panicked and they don't know how to deal with the demos. They don't know how to deal with the young people. If you read the Star today, the headline is there that they are saying the president still doesn't know how to handle the young people because he's trying lots and lots of strategies. Doesn't seem to be working. And the by-elections that Fanyamambo is talking about, you know, as of now we have 6 by-elections that have to happen from Mbere, where Ruku was, to Genya, where Popio Andai, to Banisa, where we lost that MP, and so these are going to be a very, very. That's when the rubber is going to meet the road. We will want to see. Really, is the opposition making any progress? Will DCP, for example, then win in Mbere? Will Kenya Kwanza sustain the onslaught in Malava, for example, in Kakamega County. So that is going to be the litmus test to know really just how the popularity of this government is, because I would want to imagine that no government will want to lose any seat. If the seat was belong to UDA, I would want to imagine that they are going to do each and everything to make sure that they will retain the seat. Wacha tuone hizo by-elections zikija. Let's see how the example they are going to use. Maybe they are going to steal, then we will see kama wataiba namna gani, and then we also see if the opposition really has made any progress in trying to make popular among Kenyans, because unaweza kuwa unasema one term lakini kura ikifika unaona bado watu wako kwa serikali. So that's what we are going to see. That will be the litmus test really. Will DCP, we have the firstborn of DCP in Mbere when the by-election happens. Remember the firstborn wa UDA alikuwa Kawanjiku ama alikuwa Coast ule I can't remember.
Yes, but it was
Coast region. That was the first.
They have capacity to be forgotten.
That was the firstborn of UDA.
The second was my MP.
The second was Kawanjiku, your MP.
Ikemba.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then so we will start knowing those things. We'll if the by-election is held in Kisii, for example, the MCA, there are 2 or 3 MCAs who passed on in Kisii region. Will Matiang'i mobilize and make sure that he wins those seats, or will UDA still have some political clout and weight to win those seats? Will Malava, for example, go to Tawe movement and Natembea, or will Farouk and his Arambes make an impact on Malava? And that's when we are going to see. It will be really a mini poll to show how the next election is going to happen.
Money is about to be released into the economy. The only language they understand that makes them release money is a by-election. So you will see UDA will come with a lot of money. Wacha hii ya maharagwe mnaonanga. They want these seats desperately. So I think for them to campaign and to win these seats, they will spend a lot of money. That is a positive thing, because now money is about to come into the economy. T-shirts will be printed, banners will be done. There's a lot of vehicles as a campaign. I mean, a lot of money is going to be poured into this economy, which is positive. Kenyans at least prepare kutakuwa na tupesa kwa mfuko juu by elections are coming. This administration has told you one thing. Have you ever seen people who take full responsibility for telling you who is responsible? That the only responsibility they have is to tell you who is responsible. I have seen that this administration, and when you look at them, from when they came into power, the first thing, that time they were blaming Uhuru for everything that was going wrong. People forget very quickly. They were blaming Uhuru. They blamed Uhuru for everything. Uhuru at some point had to go to the US for a long time. Then they realized they can't blame Uhuru. Then they started blaming Raila and Maandamano. They said Raila, they called him Uchawi, they called him Muganga, they called him all sorts of things. They blamed him for everything that was going wrong. They never took responsibility for anything. Raila left and he joined this government. They started blaming Ford Foundation, and they started saying Boniface Mwangi and a few other people who want to overthrow the government. They blamed them for everything. Then that couldn't hold water. They started blaming Rigiji. They blamed him, they impeached him. Now he's in the US. They continue blaming him. Now they've gotten to a place they've realized blaming Rigiji is not working anymore. So what does the president do? He comes and blames the church. He tells the church, you guys are responsible for what's happening. You're not doing your work. He realizes that it's not working to blame the church. Now he has come to the parents. Now he's blaming the parents for the problems that Gen Zs are putting this country through, and he's saying the parents have not raised the young people properly. After he's done with the parents, I don't know what he's going to blame. He's going to blame the rain. He's going to blame God. He's going to blame everything. The only thing this administration has not done is to look at itself as the source of the problem. The day they will realize that they are the problems that Kenyans have, maybe things will change. But for now, I think they are now planning on who to blame next. And I wouldn't be surprised if now they attack the media. They blame the media. Then once they are done with the media, they'll have nobody else to blame. So until these people start taking responsibility and to realize that they are in leadership, you can't be president, and then when everything goes wrong, you blame every other person who is not elected. Then at what point do you take responsibility for anything?